it. So if I were advising somebody else, I would say just spend some really, really deep time thinking deep about what it is that you really want to do. If this job didn't exist, what is it I would love to do? Mm-hmm. And then the next question is, why am I not doing that?
Spring is springing here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're not done with winter yet. We have a saying in Atlanta, if you're unhappy with the weather, give it an hour and it'll be a totally different season. And I'm here with Jennifer Rust. And Jennifer has reinvented herself recently. Jennifer Rust Botanicals. And I love planting and gardening. So we've got some fun stuff planned today. Welcome to We're Not Dead Yet, women rocking their next chapter. Thank you for letting me play in the dirt with you today.
Thanks for coming. I'm so glad you're here.
Tell me what you did before.
I came up through the airline industry in management and then was in management consulting for probably about 10 years.
10 years?
And traveled around the world and worked with airlines and worked with them on marketing. And after a while, that got sort of old, and so I needed to do something else. It was time.
So you went directly from that business to this, or was there?
There was a hiatus. There was definitely a hiatus, and I spent a lot of time in my own garden, working through what it is I wanted to do, being with the kids, having some time with them that I needed. And it was just a time that I really took to think about what I wanted to do. And then I started doing gardening for free for people and doing garden design for people for free. And one day my brother-in-law looked me in the eye and he said, "When are you going to do this for real?" And I thought about it and I drove home back to Atlanta and I said, "I'm going to do it." And I got my LLC and I had my business cards made, and I kid you not, I had my first client within about 2 weeks.
Really?
And it just went from there.
And you've been doing it for how long?
4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so how many clients do you serve now?
Ooh, I don't know. I know that we did, let me put it this way, I think we did 220 containers in 1 month during the fall.
Wow.
At the end of October. It just keeps growing every season. It just keeps growing. So the clients grow, the number of containers that they want grows, the size of the jobs are growing.
Yeah.
So it just keeps getting bigger.
What does Jennifer Rust Botanicals do exactly?
We do containers. So we do a lot of high-end residential, commercial accounts. We have a large hotel that we do that I designed and we installed, and now we maintain all of the containers at that hotel. We go out between 3 and 4 times a year to a client, what I call our custom clients, and we do their front door containers. We now do pool decks and we do interior containers. As people have home offices, I find we're doing more plants for the office.
Right,
It's
for those
really,
Zoom calls.
Yeah, for the Zoom calls, exactly. Everybody needs a plant in the back, a living plant in the back. But it's almost 100% containers now. And I was doing garden design. We started in garden design. And what I really found my passion was working with the flowers, working with the plants, and rotating those out and just always having something fresh for my clients. And that I just love. I mean, it's just, who doesn't love flowers?
I know. I love flowers. I used to dabble in floral design as well. So I am all about the flowers.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today?
Okay, so today we had sort of an interesting thing happen this season, actually over the last week. I had ordered a great deal of plants to use for my new subscription planters that went out this morning, so it's been a very early morning. The subscription planters go out 4 times a year, and today was the launch of spring. We will do subscription planters again in May, and then September, and then November, so 4 times a year, 4 seasons a year. When I received my order of plants, I received a lot of flowers that were already fully in bloom. And They are beautiful, but I prefer them to be a little bit tighter
Mhm.
when I take them out to clients, so they have them longer.
Yes, right.
So we're changing course this morning, and we're going to make use of all of these flowers, and we're actually going to make containers that are going to go to the residents of the Drake House, which are women and children that are in transition housing in Roswell, Georgia.
Oh, wonderful.
And so each one of them are going to get a planter from us.
Oh, what a great gift.
And then we are going to really just do a mix of these beautiful tulips and some daffodils. And you can see they've got multiple blooms already going, and then they have blooms that are still coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do about 3 or 4 per container. Let's just kind of see how that works.
And so we're pulling them out of here?
Yeah, you can pull them out of there, or you can kind of like way in there. I tell you what, I'll pull out a few, and that might be a little easier to work with. And then we just separate them just a little bit.
Yeah, what I learned in floral design, flowers are not as delicate as you think.
No, they're not. And I'm a little bit rough. I've been accused of being a little bit rough, but I think I've gotten used to working with them. So I'm just doing like a little combination of the tulip and the hyacinth. There's no rules here. That's the fun part right now.
Okay.
Let's just,
I like
just-
no rules.
we're getting containers to people that I'm hoping it brings a smile to their face.
Yeah. So I noticed you had some delivery helpers when I arrived.
So I have great crew that work with me. And on Saturdays, my delivery crew is actually my teenagers.
Awesome.
And they like making money. They're a little bit cranky getting up in the morning. I don't mind saying.
I bet.
But this job is definitely early morning, and I learned that early on. I like to get going. I like things to be planted. If there's going to be any problems during the day, I want to know first thing in the morning so I can get it taken
Look
care
at
of.
you. Have you done like 5 to my 1?
No. I'm just stacking
I'm
them
gonna
up
be fired.
here. Here, maybe we'll put them back here.
I'm going to be fired.
Let's see.
So, and you're still operating out of your
I am still operating.
garage and home.
I am, and that's a lot of fun and a lot of stress, as you can imagine.
Do you
gonna
think that will change at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. We're pushing the envelope here to say. I think my husband would like to be able to get the cars back in the garage at some point this year, maybe by Father's Day. But he is very supportive, But I think he would like his garage back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we definitely are eyeing up real estate and how to handle that. And like any small business owner, when is the right time to take on that investment?
Exactly.
And that's definitely something I think about. Is now the right time, or do we wait till I get a little bit bigger? Am I constraining myself by not moving now? Those are all questions that when it's your own business, you got to figure out.
I know. So, what has been the biggest challenge of going into business for yourself?
I think having to, in some ways, it's the good part and it's the bad part. Having to make the decisions by myself. And there's a lot of decisions to be made during the day. Everything from, managing my books to invoicing to marketing to staffing and crew. I think just the sheer number of decisions I have to make in a day. And during the season, which this is kind of spring is what I would call maybe the Super Bowl of my season. The days are very early in the morning. They start early and sometimes they go very late. But that's, I think, just the nature of owning your own business.
Yeah.
I don't know if it ever stops. I don't think it ever stops.
What's the best part about it?
Owning your own, making my own decisions. Making my own decisions.
Best part and the worst part.
It is. It's the best part and the worst part. Look, when I know
That makes sense.
when I make a decision and I mess up, I know it's on me.
Yeah.
And when I have a success, I also know that part's not all on me. That's on everybody that I rely on. And so it's humbling, right? Because when things go wrong, it's me. I've got to fix it.
Right.
And I got to come up with a solution really quick.
Right.
That's the hard part.
Like the 20 cases of tulips
Like
coming in.
Many cases
Too
of
open.
tulip that arrived, and I didn't want to give them to my clients. I thought they were too open to give to my clients. So I thought giving them to the Drake House was probably the best thing we could do. So.
How long were you in your career thinking, like, when did you start thinking, what else is there? When did you, what made you start thinking about something else?
I loved management consulting.
Uh-huh.
I loved it. I loved the thought process. I loved the thinking. I loved everything about it. But I will tell you, I always found that the place I wanted to go to wasn't just the garden, but it was anything to do with plants. That's what I would read about. That's what I would digest. That's what I would do to relax. It was what I was thinking about. And then I started thinking, well, what could I do in management consulting in gardens as opposed to airlines? And then I thought that might not work either. I don't know. And so when I had the opportunity to take a pause in my corporate career, and maybe the pause found me, that was when I really started thinking, what do I want to do? And yeah, I did a lot of therapy in the garden, pulled a lot of weeds in the Georgia heat, and had some time to think about it. And
Okay, so I don't find pulling weeds therapy.
I know, I gotcha.
You just lost me.
I gotcha. I know. And maybe that was the clue in itself, is that I did find it therapy.
Okay.
That was probably the clue. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
it is.
And you know what? I finally figured out there was a business that I could help people. People love plants, but they don't necessarily love to get dirty, and they don't necessarily have the time to do it. They want a beautiful front door, they want a beautiful pool deck with plants, but they don't know how to do it, or they don't have the time to do it.
Right.
And I don't know, it just started to come to me. I'm like, I can do that. That's what I love to do. And I think there's a lot of people with hobbies that don't want to turn it into a business, or hobbies that stay hobbies.
Sure.
I think the hard part was I had to figure out how to make sure that I had a business that was viable,
Right.
right? As opposed to a hobby.
Right.
And and so it took a little bit, but this is definitely a full-on business. It's no longer a hobby. It's no longer a hobby.
And any regrets about that? Because sometimes people, say, when you make your hobby your business, it's loses something.
No. The only thing I wish I would have done is started earlier.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. No, I never looked back on that. This has never stopped being fun for me.
Aw.
And so when it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm trying to figure out orders and I'm trying to figure things out, I don't begrudge that. Like, I love it. And I naturally wake up at 6 in the morning and my head's already thinking about what I've got in front of me for the day. I love that. I love that. And
I love that.
And maybe I did that in my corporate career too, but it's a lot more fun when you're building your own business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot more
Yeah.
fun.
What advice would you give to the woman who is sitting right now today where you were 5-6 years ago?
Yep.
Wondering what else there is. Wondering what, maybe she's got a passion that and is wondering how she can monetize that.
I think a couple things. One, I think there's not a linear path for everybody. And I think it's also this misnomer that you're going to study business, you go into corporate, and you have to stay into corporate. I think that's the biggest misnomer, that you have to stay on a trajectory, you have to stay on that path.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs to know and have the confidence that I can do something else. Just because you chose that career doesn't mean that's the career you have to stay in. I actually loved my career, but I was ready to do something else. I knew there was something else I wanted to do, and I wasn't sure what. So that was the time I had to spend thinking about it. So if I were advising somebody else, I would say just spend some really, really deep time thinking deep about what it is that you really want to do. If this job didn't exist, what is it I would love to do? And then the next question is, why am I not doing that?
Something you said that struck me, mainly because it's not the first time I've heard it. You said you started doing it for free.
I did.
you started giving it away.
I did.
And I actually interviewed a woman recently who that was her big advice for women.
Interesting.
She said, she said, I wasn't doing what I was doing. I wasn't sitting around saying, oh, I have this pot of money sitting here. What should I do with it? What business should I start?
Yeah.
She said, I started it from nothing. I started taking pictures of friends and of, baptisms at church and giving it away. And then pretty soon people were asking to pay me to do it.
Yeah, that's funny. I should be giving people that advice because it actually really did help me kind of figure it out. It helped me figure out what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. And it also gave me the experience of what can go wrong. Is that, that's like, what are the risks?
Yeah.
So, and when you're doing it for free.
And a body of work.
When
you're
you're
display.
Yeah, when you're doing it for free, it's really hard to complain. But, it did give me a body. It gave me both a body of work to display, and it also gave me a thought process of what I wanted to do and what I didn't.
And the confidence.
Yeah. The confidence, for sure.
Yeah. What mistakes did you make?
Probably not asking for help quick enough on QuickBooks. That was a problem.
Sure.
And so I would definitely, that's something I would get help on pretty quick. It's a small thing. But the other thing I think is certainly if you're doing a product or service is know your suppliers. And I have found that, for example, here we had something that went wrong and it didn't work. And I really had to work with the supplier to make sure that it worked for me, but also for them. Mm-hmm. They were actually ended up being really gracious. So I have to say the supplier relationships are absolutely critical. Yeah, and they taught me a lot too. I learned a lot from my suppliers, and I still do. The supplier relationships are really important.
How do you get your clients?
Up until recently, it's been all word of mouth, which has worked really well. I've really had to learn social media. So if you say, am I doing advertising? I guess I am through social media. I'm pushing out the word on social media. But the word of mouth has been killer, has been fantastic. And it was word of mouth that I picked up a very large commercial client. And ended up being a boutique hotel in downtown Atlanta, new build, Marriott tribute property. And I was called in to help at the very early nascent stages when they were going through design as sort of a bit of a consultant, advice on plants, and ended up doing all of the containers for the hotel, inside and out. And now we do the maintenance.
Really?
So that has been a tremendous addition to the business. Mm-hmm. And then the other part that the business is really growing towards is the subscription planners. So
tell me about that. What is a subscription planner?
So the subscription planners are the ones that really what I brought all these, a lot of these plants in for, and that is 4 times a year we develop containers that are dropped off at somebody's front door. So we pre-make them. You can either buy one of our containers that the planter insert fits into, or you can use your own as long as the measurements fit. And then we, 4 times a year, we drop it off. So this morning was delivery day for subscription planters, and we'll do that again still over the next couple days. And then we come back again, you sign up for the subscription, and then we come back again in May with your summer planter, in September for your fall planter, and then November for your winter planter.
So how is that different from the other planters you were doing?
Yeah, good question. So my custom clients, we go to their house and we work with their containers, or I buy containers specifically for them. And some of my clients have 20, 30 containers on their property.
Wow.
Yeah, and so when I said the clients are getting bigger, the clients are getting bigger, both the number and the number of containers.
The size of the property.
Yes, and the size of the property. But so we have the subscription business, which is really just a door drop, pre-made. And then we have the custom clients, and we will start doing custom spring over next week. And then we have the commercial clients. So it's really expanded out all 3. It's been fantastic, actually.
What's next for Jennifer Rest Botanicals?
Certainly growing the subscription base across Atlanta, and selling online products that can be shipped out.
Now,
That's
how
definitely the
is
next
that
stage.
gonna work?
I don't know. I will let you know when we figure it out. I will let you know when we figure it out, but we are spending some time on it right now. And
That's exciting.
what's of interest? The biggest thing is making sure it's consistent with our brand.
Sure.
And I am all about fresh. I'm all about the quality. I'm all about making sure that we are truly delivering something that's a little bit different than you could get just maybe at the local greenhouse store or the local garden center.
Wonderful. And you just keep dreaming bigger.
Keep dreaming, keep working. At the end of the day, I really think we're more of a customer service business.
Yeah.
Certainly,
Well,
we
of
work in
course.
plants and get dirty, but at the end of the day, the client has to be really happy with when they pull in the driveway, what they see at the front door. And the greatest compliment we get is, I just love coming home and seeing the front door.
Aw.
And that just makes me feel really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Best wishes on the online. I can't wait to find out how that works.
I know, it's going to be fun. I'll be launching this year.
We'll do a follow-up. on that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you for letting me play in the
Thanks for
dirt.
planting. Oh, we're going to have some happy people getting some planters today.
My planters at home are going, lady, come.
We'll send you home with a few flowers for sure.
They're going, lady, hello.
That's right, I have a business. That's right.
Well, I should ask, are your planters like the shoemaker's shoes?
Oh my
Or-
gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. I come home and I'm like, oh, it's time to get in the garden.
I bet.
Absolutely.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming out. I'm really happy you're here.
And thanks to Kim Hakes, who keeps sending me these great ideas.
She's a fantastic
Love her,
lady.
and she's got a reinvention we're going to tell at some point too. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
thank you so much.